everyone to the LEC live from the Riot Games Arena in Berlin, Germany. With over a decade of play, 10 LCK titles and 4 League of Legends World Championships, this week we immortalized FLICKR as our very first entry into the Hall of Legends. So we wanted to spend a little time to do our part in also respecting the GOAT, really. My name is Shocked and I'm joined by Lore and by very special guest, Tolkien, who is the biggest FLICKR fan on the planet, question mark?
Perhaps in the German scene, yeah.
In the German scene, for sure. Thank you so much for joining me. As you have all seen, I am sure online, FLICKR has been inducted as the first inductee into the Hall of Legends. Tremendous documentary, by the way, has been going online thanks to Phil Choi and his team. It looks great. But Tolkien, talk to us about your fandom and why you are such a fan of FLICKR, I guess.
I mean, I've been a fan for 11 years now, and I followed this guy every single match. I've been pretty much playing because of him also competitively. And I mean, he has the perfect storyline, you know, coming from his homecoming, bringing up with his brother in relative poverty, going up, keeping his money for the bus and going to PC Banks, playing there, becoming a legend at Chaos first, then at League of Legends, transitioning over at a young age, you know, becoming a high school legend as well. And I don't know, there's nothing not to love about the guy. And he's been the idol for League of Legends, I think for everyone, especially for me, I think.
For me as well, for you as well, Laura, I think.
I mean, yeah.
You guys met him more often than I did, so.
It's crazy to think that this player started to play competitive League of Legends because he was bored in normal game. And, and that's why he became the GOAT at the game.
It's crazy. And to be someone that is so aspirational and also kind of the best person to do it when it comes to kind of his impact, how kind he is, you know, how aspirational he is, how driven he is. It's been amazing to watch the journey, and we wanted to walk back a couple of memories, of our personal favorite memories. And Tolkien, this is yours. We made a little video. Let's take a look.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. Yeah.
And this is our gift.
What? Oh my goodness! Thank you guys so much. Wait, but can you sign it as well, or is that too much? Oh my goodness! What the f***? But look at this! No, I'm professional. I'm a professional guy. Thank you, FLICKR. Thanks. Thanks. Oh, thanks.
Snatches.
I'll stop you for a sec because I think we couldn't hear you yet. But what were you saying about it?
I love the moment, you know, FLICKR goes up to me and he wants to like straighten the fabric so you can ride on it.
Yes.
But I thought he wants to take the jersey, so it looks like he's snatching it from me, which I just love, you know.
He's just helping.
Yeah, you just wanted to help, but I'm like,
It made me think that he's so used to signing so many jerseys, he immediately knows grab it, pull it, make sure that you can sign it. How was that?
I was so honored. I mean, I think Red Bull told him I was like some sort of super fan, or T1 in general.
Yeah.
So they brought like a jersey with my name on it to the interview. I was allowed to interview them for a couple of minutes. And I was just really, as you could see, you know, like a bit flabbergasted, shocked. And just honored.
That's
honestly.
what the young people say, shook. Also, you got to play versus him last year at Red Bull.
And I killed him once.
You killed him!
That's a screenshot. It's going on the tombstone, you know, if I die,
Please,
it's right up there.
Don't leave us.
I killed him.
Yeah, for sure.
I did.
Laura, but what Tolkien says about kind of, you know, being nervous, I think we still have it, you know, and we've had the honor and the pleasure of talking to him a few times now, and still it's like you're in the presence of greatness.
It is the crazy thing because we're used to seeing him year after year, interviewing him, and every time you're in his presence, it's like, yeah, you're in presence of the GOAT. Like I remember in the LCK even last year, when T1 would take the elevator, I would step out. The GOATs are coming, and of course you respect FLICKR.
I do the same thing always. I'm like, oh, I don't want to, you know, get in their aura. But Laura, you also have a favorite memory. Do you want to set it up for us, or should we just watch it?
So it was 2014 All-Star, my very first esports event, and I think one of the first league events in France. FLICKR is in France for the first time, so I will let the video roll and I will talk to you about it after that.
It looked so dope. That's his init, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh my god.
And he looks up and
he's like, is this for me? For me?
Yeah.
Like the meme, right?
But this is... It is actually crazy because you're in 2014 and he won Worlds for the first time the year right before, and I felt like already seeing him on stage, I was like, I'm in presence of someone who's going to become great, and you could feel his aura and what he meant for the game even back then after his first title.
Yeah, Tolkien, I think that's a great observation. That was really early on in the career, only coming off that first World Championship, and already everyone knowing, okay, this guy, he's it.
I mean, if you look back now at the footage back then, he feels like a time traveler. He just knew wave management and how to, play the game, play matchups better than everyone else. And I think it's really astounding he could pull that level off so early when he had basically no competition, which was also, I think, in France, we could play like Master, Yi mid, Riv mid, he could do whatever he wanted. So it was quite special.
Yeah, ahead of his time, really, right? And then what I think when you think about a long career for a lot of pro players, it's very, very hard to stay at the top. And you have to continuously reinvent yourself. And I think that's something that I wanted to hold in my memories, the fact that he won his first Worlds in 2013 in the Staples Center. It was an absolutely bigger than life moment. And then, of course, in 2023, we had the crowning achievement once again. And the fact that someone can be on top of his game for so long, when you have to have new team members around you, you have to adjust to, new skills you have to develop, stepping up as a captain, taking care of everything outside of the game, because I'm sure he has to do a lot of content, a lot of press, a lot of pressure, I think it's almost incredible.
Yeah, and he represents League of Legends in every aspect for what he brought to the game, for what he brought to aspirational player watching him, his teammates working alongside him, and for me, yeah, it makes total sense that he's the first inductee.
It's awesome. Final notes, Falcon.
I always thought, it must be annoying as well to be a teammate of FLICKR. So when I was there in Korea a couple weeks ago, and I saw, he got like his trophies, he got gifted a sports car, and then Guma, he was like holding up his phone, smiling like a fan, and filming FLICKR with his own phone. I thought that was just awesome, and really tells a story about the team culture also developing around FLICKR.
Yeah, inspiring everyone around them, for sure. Congratulations to FLICKR, but let's also hear from our own LEC players about their experience with FLICKR.
I lost to FLICKR.
I lost to FLICKR.
I lost to FLICKR.
I lost to FLICKR.
I also lost to FLICKR.
I also lost to FLICKR.
I also lost to FLICKR.
For the first 8 to 10 years, I used to just watch videos of him laning, playing solo queue all the time.
Moving on to season 4-5, where he started like innovating a lot, especially season 5, he was just playing any champion mid lane and making it work. Gave me a lot of inspiration to become that kind of player.
Gets the stun, Caps flashes forward, turns it onto Perks, first blood to baby FLICKR!
He's my goat, right? I really love FLICKR. I take a selfie every year with him if I have the opportunity to.
The first time I played against FLICKR on stage was in season 9.
Looking at FLICKR, he's coming in behind, gets the root down, the flash is interrupted by the black shield, and Caps doesn't flash defensively.
If you make mistakes, he will punish them instantly. And he also got like a very big Silas ult against us.
Is getting obliterated. Oh! Massive! Manages to steal the Gnar. FLICKR turns around. He hijacks G2's chances.
He definitely made us work for it when we ended up winning against him.
G2 Esports eliminates SK Telecom.
2017 was the first time I met FLICKR on stage. If we would have won against SKT, then we would go semi-finals.
FLICKR was always making really low mistakes. Like, even though game is hard, he's really sharp in the game.
I remember my support, Ignar. He hooked FLICKR.
The team's gonna have to meet him on the other side. The cleanse comes out. Taken down before Cosmic Radiance.
I felt really, really insane. Yeah, whenever I hook him, I felt like, oh, we got this game.
I only played against him one best of 5.
The first game I was like 9-0 with Lee Sin. I felt like he was beatable.
And we got 3-0.
Have T1 seriously won a game in 17 minutes? I have never seen a more dominant win.
We lost in 16 minutes, 47 seconds, so we at least created a meme.
If he's good in the game or bad in the game, he's always a threat doing crazy stuff. Like even recently in MSI, I feel like the games were not too bad for us, and then he's just does like a 5-man Azir shuffle.
The G2 wanted, and FLICKR has had enough! Broken blade pulled across the wall. He'll elastic shot out of the spear rushing by FLICKR. He finds Hans Summer!
And that just shows his experience in the game. I think he's very clutch.
He seems like a very great person.
When he meets randoms like me, for example, in a hotel if you're in Dash tournaments, he always says hello to everyone, basically.
Thank you, FLICKR, for stealing the hopes of Europe.
I'm very thankful that he is still playing. As long as he's in the game, I can be in the game.
Also, thank you for kicking me out of Worlds.
Thank you, FLICKR, for almost fastest lose in International.
Thank you, FLICKR, for the 1647.
You made me go to the finals of Worlds, made me go to the finals of MSI against Team Liquid, and that was a free win, so thank you very much.
Thank you, FLICKR, for stopping us from winning this MSI, because so far, no team that won MSI won Worlds, so cheers.
You gotta love our pros, but obviously a lot of heartbreak at the hands of FLICKR. But if someone's gonna break his heart, break your heart, it's fine that it's him, I guess, from a European fan perspective. But let's talk about our fakers, the LEC players. What happened last week? What do we want to talk about?
I mean, I think straight off the most Faker-esque team that we have is probably Fnatic, if we're going to talk about them with their 3-0. I think Fnatic continues to impress after that performance at MSI, which was obviously a very low point for them. But the way that they have come back and started playing in week 1 is absolutely phenomenal. What I think is even more impressive is the way that they're doing. They're so much more tempered in terms of how they set up their objective control and in terms of how they're actually dealing with their own aggression. The KD from Fnatic used to be around like 1.2, but from week 1, it's 1.7. It's amazing numbers that we're seeing from them, and we're also seeing the fastest average game time from them at the same time. So it's less aggression, but still fast-paced gameplay.
We don't have that much time, so I want to transition into one more team, and unfortunately they're losing here. But overall, I think KC has had a much more hopeful week than the ones they've had until here, right? And you could start to dream about if they can make that miracle run. What do you think, Odo?
Yeah, definitely. We even saw in the first game, you know, they lost the game, but our main positives about that was that they have signs of life. They're a lot more coordinated, and you know, they started off the week with that huge comeback victory. 11k goal down, you know. Sure, someone might say enemy is throwing, but you need to be good enough to catch it, you know. And they definitely caught it over there. And, you know, they're showing huge signs of life, so I'm really, really curious how they're going to do this week.
Yeah, we want to see them to keep it going for sure at the hands of a Vitality, who was my biggest disappointment in week 1. But let's keep it positive. Let's talk about SK as well, Goldberg. Now, sometimes they can be early season Andes, right? But
absolutely.
I feel like, did we see a different enough SK to think to warrant a deep run?
I mean, I absolutely loved what we saw from SK in week 1, and more specifically from the 2 new pieces that they put in down in that bot lane as well. They had a super impressive start to the split. Even more so, I thought Luan, or Lu1, however you want to call him, from his week 1 performance, has been playing absolutely immaculate. And you can see his stats right here. The early game control this guy brings to this team, it cannot be understated. It's fantastic, or overstated rather. 100% KP in the early game. You see it in his K+ assist. So much of the early game action is built around this new player, and then his forward percentage. He is aggressive, he does not want to back down, he wants to get this team going in the early game.
Yeah, and for me, they look like the perfect plug-and-play bot lane. Especially in the LEC, we had our complaints of the fact that, you know, we don't have good Lucian Nami players. Well, right now we have 2 great Lucian Nami players together. They're doing amazing, you know, and it just looks like they just inspire so much confidence to their team everywhere. No matter what the situation they're in, you know, game 2, I think they were very, very behind in the early game, and then they got bailed out everywhere. And right now, it just looks like they're about to level up even more.
It does. I did hear that it was more difficult in scrims for them, because I guess they have a target on their back now. Everyone's thinking, oh no, how are we going to shut down that bot lane? Well, SK is playing BDS in the first game, and Lore is now standing by with Irrelevant in the Marriott Bonvoy pre-game lobby.
Thank you, Shox and Irrelevant, of course, for joining me ahead of your game. This is week 2 of summer. Week 1 went well. I think people are expecting things to be a bit more complicated for SK in week 2, as you guys are used to this. How are you approaching this week?
I think looking at the schedule, like it's for sure a harder week than week 1. Like obviously week 1 we played G2, which were a hard opponent, which we managed to beat. But I think this week I think if we do well, I think I don't want to say proves that we are good, but I think right now people are still skeptical, and I think this week, we can prove a lot.
Today is the day you prove them wrong. And I feel like, as I said, everything has been going well for you guys, especially implementing a new bot lane. I keep on hearing that they're really autonomous, that they know exactly what they want, that they're going to call for things. So I imagine that it's giving you a bit more space and a bit more room in the top lane. Would you agree?
I'm not sure if I would agree. I think they're very good. And I think in official game they have good comms. But I think in general communication could be better.
Okay.
I think sometimes it's a bit hard.
Any word on the first matchup you have playing against Adam is always something particular. How do you take him down today?
I mean, don't want to reveal too much, but I think Adam is always like a scary opponent with his champ pool to play against. And I think versus Adam, it's just important to have good prep for the draft and come in with a good plan.
Okay, we'd be looking at the banning phase then in that case. Irrelevant, thank you so much and good luck on your first game against BDS. And casters, over to you.
Thank you so much, Lore and Irrelevant.